Hi, and welcome to XR for Work. This is the show where we explore the immersive, virtual, mixed, and augmented platforms designed for business and professional use. My name's Rick, and I'm your host here at XR for Work. So, something I'd found myself doing more recently is checking in on App Lab for new titles that might not have yet hit the store. Well, once you check App Lab, you then kind of follow the rabbit trail and you end up going to Sidequest. And so I ended up going on to Sidequest and finding one of these hidden gems that I wanted to bring you today. I think this is a title that every VR owner should have. I know we're all excited about the release of Forever Bowling today, and I plan to go out and try that myself later. But first, I wanted to have a look at the title we're looking at today, CPR Simulator. Now, CPR training is one of those basic civic skills that I think everyone should know, but that we often don't take the time to go and get training and learn to perform. We often associate it with coming across or seeing a stranger who might need assistance, and that just doesn't maybe feel right to us, but we quickly forget that it's probably not the stranger you're going to have to do CPR on eventually, but more likely a family member, aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, some loved one that you may need to use it with. And that's when having this skill is essential. Well, now you don't have to leave your home at all. With a Quest headset, in 30 minutes, you can become knowledgeable in how to administer CPR and use an AED, an automated external defibrillator, and possibly save the life of someone you know and love. And so with that, let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about CPR Simulator. I love when these titles describe exactly what the application does. This is a title by AATE VR, not a company I'm familiar with, but one I hope you will all soon become familiar with as you explore CPR Simulator. And so CPR Simulator is found on Sidequest, sort of it's found in Sidequest. And what I mean by that is that that's where I found the title, but then you'll see, and I'll call this out more later, you actually go and purchase and download it on itch.io. And not itch.io is not a platform I'm that familiar with, but I think of it as another Sidequest kind of platform where you will find, again, some of these real hidden gems that aren't in the store, but have a good bit of value. And so you'll go to itch.com. You will see up here itch. So this isn't Sidequest. This is a little snip from the itch website. You will find CPR Simulator there. A lot of the text, a lot of the videos are the same as you'll see on Sidequest, but this is actually where I went, purchased, and downloaded the app. Now you then use Sidequest, because it's an APK, to install it. So if all of this sounds a little complicated to you, my apologies, but likely many of you are familiar with side loading applications from Sidequest and side loading APKs, and you actually use the Sidequest software to install what you've downloaded after you've purchased it here on Itch. And then once you do, let's go in and take a look at what you'll see. And so you can see right away, you have two languages, English and Danish, and you might assume that Danish is there because AATE is a Danish company, and you have an instructor and a guide who walks you through kind of this entire process. Obviously, this is all in 3D. Now, you don't have full locomotion. You're not moving around this area. You're listening to the instructor and you're reading the information panels that get presented. Now, I'm going to pause here just a second to call out that right now the application has one location, one scenario, one individual, right? So it's a little slim on content. I want to be upfront about that, so you're not disappointed when you get it. But you can see there's more in development, and I've been in contact with AATE, and they assure me there's more coming. So I felt very comfortable going ahead and purchasing this on my own. Now, when you begin the scenario, you have the scenario editor where you can kind of turn certain things on and certain things off. Because once you've run through this 2 or 3 times, you may only want to go in and do one certain section, so that you can get your evaluation score up. And we'll talk about the evaluation at the end of the session. So you can see that you can include the AED section or take the AED section out and just do CPR compressions. You can set how many rounds of CPR you're doing. One's not enough, folks. Let me just tell you that. You want to get this down. It needs to become part of your muscle memory, and you need to practice this. And one of the things I love is, even being in healthcare, this was something that I kind of had to take time out and go to a class once a year to get recertified in. Now I can slap on my headset and kind of run through a scenario in as little as 10 or 15 minutes to refresh myself anytime I want. And that's really valuable. And even take family members, have them put the headset on and go through this process too. And so you get led through a scenario. You have the individual here. It walks you through up the steps to evaluate, consciousness. Are they responsive? Where do you put your hands? Now, of course, we've got our controllers in our hands, and it takes that into account. One little tip I'll give you that did catch me at one point. There is a point you have to pick your phone up off the ground. You're going to call emergency services. And I realized that I hadn't set my floor level quite right so that I couldn't grab it. So you'll need to ensure that that's set correctly, because you will be, again, using muscle memory and actually doing these things on your knees, on the ground, just like you would if this was a real person or you were in a simulation with a dummy in that environment. So it leads you through, and you can see your hand placement, how long and how to do certain movements. You'll see this point here where I'm going to check for breathing. And it's actually going to, again, it gives me this instruction card, and the instructor can read me through this, where to place my head, how long to be down there, to look to see if I could feel the breath or see the chest or belly move with any breaths that the individual might be taking. And then I get quizzed, right? And it's like, what's the next step? And again, this is one of these scenarios. It's okay to fail, because you're going to learn the steps as you go. And again, be able to come back and go through this as many times as you need to. All right, I'm going to jump through this. There's the section, of course, I've left the AED section on. So you learn how to, where to find the AED, how to turn it on, where to place the leads, and when to initiate it, and what to look for when you do initiate it. And again, these steps and these things are so essential and so important that if you ever find yourself in it, not to have to be learning this at the time you're doing it, right? You want to have had practiced it and at least have some familiarity with how to help an individual who might need you to save their life. And then the ever important step of actually doing the compressions. And again, it takes into consideration that you've got controllers in your hands. It would be great, to have hand tracking at some point, but hey, I'll take this right now. And so it shows you how to place your hands, even though in the image that you have in front of you in 3D, your hands are placed correctly. So you at least get to kind of see how they should be placed there. You can see kind of the green ghost hands, and as you bring your controllers in, it snaps your hands into place. And then it walks you through the rate of compressions. It gives you this really nice little grid, and in the background, there's a tone going that helps you maintain the correct compression rate. and you'll give 30 of this. And this is where you can determine the cycle. And all, you've got your phone, you've got emergency services on the line, and, you can run through that. And then after we're done, you get to go here to the evaluation phase, right? And it takes you through kind of each step and how you responded and what you did, and then what and why certain answers are correct or not, right? In this first one, where what do you do now? Do you start the CPR compressions? Do you call 911? Do you, it shows you your answer, and then it tells you why is that the correct answer. So again, it's not an issue or an embarrassment to fail it. You just learn, and then you go back and you complete it until you have it down pat. And you can feel rest assured that if you're ever in that kind of emergency situation, you are going to be able to help someone. Okay, so to wrap up, a quick synopsis. You find CPR Simulator on Sidequest, or you can go right to itch.io where you're going to purchase it. Right now, that price is $24.95 US. The application walks you through the steps in assessing the need for CPR. It walks you through assessing the need for emergency services. You get to practice the mechanics of CPR and the application and use of an AED. And then it provides you an evaluation of your session, and you get to repeat it as many times as you need, and then refresh yourself on a regular basis. These are the kind of titles that are invaluable to have at your disposal in your headset to use as you need to be ready for these kind of events. Okay, that's it. We want to thank you for stopping by XR for Work. If you'd like to drop us a line, you can email us at xrforwork@gmail.com. We invite you to join our Facebook group at XR for Work on Facebook. You can follow us on Twitter, XR for Work, or get in contact with us on LinkedIn. XR for Work is Rick Castile, Nicholas Johansson, or Tom Soderlin. So thanks again for being here. We hope you're well. We hope that you never have to use something like CPR Simulator, but that if you do, you're ready and you can help save a life. So thank you, and we'll see you in the metaverse. Bye now.